Hey everybody, it's me, Dave Splash, here at The Dark Stuff, and coming at you with a video today that is a bit of a downer video. Sorry, I'm here to talk about the impending breakup of a really excellent band. One of my favorite bands of the last 5-10 years, without a doubt. One that I play, even though they haven't had a new record in 2 years, I play them still constantly. And I'm talking about the Nashville band, Those Darlins. If you've been watching my videos over the years, you know that I have talked about them in the past, and I will try in this video, I will try and restrain myself from gushing on about my, super huge crush on Jesse Darlin, or Jesse Zazu, one of the members of the band. I'm gonna try and restrain myself. I make no promises. Anyway, they just announced that they're going to do a little mini tour in January of 2016, this month, and that after that they're going to go on, quote, indefinite hiatus. And everyone knows that means breakup until at some point, some people want to reunite because there's maybe money involved, and the idea that there would be a big payday for Those Darlins at some point in the future seems unlikely, because they're still kind of a pretty underground band at this point in 2016. So I just want to talk a little bit about the band and why I love this group so much. Their style is very hard to define. I mean, they started off in doing more traditional country. They moved into, they retained a little bit of the country element, but moved into more of a garage rock sound on their second album. And on their third album, it was more traditional, just rock and roll, just more straight ahead, like very 70s infused, just rock. Great stuff. I first got to know the band in, I think, 2011, I believe, and I had received their album, Screws Get Loose, which is this album right here, in the mail for my radio show, and I had previewed it a little bit, given it a quick listen, liked it, but didn't really focus on it too much, didn't know too much about it. And a buddy of mine calls me up and he says, hey, listen, I just saw the Drive-By Truckers last night here in Milwaukee. He's from Wisconsin, and he's friends with Patterson Hood, the leader of the band, the Drive-By Truckers, and he said, listen, I'm coming into Omaha in a day or two, I remember how many days it was, and I'm going to see Drive-By Truckers again. You should come down to the show. I said, absolutely, I love Drive-By Truckers. And he said, we got to get here early because you got to see this opening band called Those Darlins. And the name didn't immediately register that I already had the CD, but I was like, yeah, what's their story? And he said, oh man, it's like 3 women, they're great. They sing this mix of kind of country and garage rock, and they switch instruments. Like the one song they'll be playing bass, and then they'll trade, and then one will play guitar and whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm sold, So I go down to the show, is at the Slowdown, and I get there, my friend and I, and we're there to meet Patterson, and so we're there earlier in the day, after sound check, I think, and all that stuff, but before the audience had been let in. So we get down there and we go into the dressing room, and we're talking to Patterson, and all of a sudden this woman walks right by me, wearing nothing but a towel, okay? Wet, obviously just took a shower, just wearing a towel, breezes right by me. This really attractive looking woman with curly black hair just breezed by me. I had no idea what she was doing there. Yeah, I'm backstage at a concert, but come on, this is the Drive-By Truckers, not Motley Crue, so I didn't think it was anything going on that was too crazy. So she walks into down the hall and into another dressing room, and that's it. I didn't see her again. I didn't know who she was. I didn't even ask. We talked to Patterson for about 45 minutes. Long story short, great guy, very nice. And I'm really excited about seeing the Drive-By Truckers again, because I'd already seen them 2 or 3 times. So we go down into the venue to check out the next band, and it was Those Darlins. And I was just not prepared for how much I was going to love this band. I mean, I was floored, okay? They were so fucking good. Now, this is when they still had the 3 members, okay? They had Jesse Darlin. They were all used Darlin like the way the Ramones did. There was Jesse Darlin, there was Nikki Darlin, and then there was Kelly Darlin, and then their drummer named Linwood. He was the only guy in the band. and they just rocked out. They were very like loud and noisy that time. It wasn't a lot of the country sound. It was definitely the Screws Get Loose vibe. And you know, this was the band at the time that I saw them. That's a great photo of them, by the way. This is the poster that comes inside of the Screws Get Loose album. I watched the set. I was blown away. I was transfixed by Jessie, no doubt. I stood front row right in front of her, and I just could not take my eyes off her. The way she just rocked out, and she had these crazy eyes, and she would like stare at people, and you didn't even know if she was like looking at you or she was just staring ahead. It was kind of hard to tell, but it was really awesome, and she was a great guitar player. They were all great. I mean, Kelly was great, and Nikki was great. They were all great. And now I realized, wow, that was the woman that ran by me in the towel. That was Jessie from those Darlins. It's like, too bad I hadn't known that at the time. I would have tried to say something. I loved the show, and after Drive By Truckers was over, I went over to the merch booth to meet the band, and Kelly was there, Nikki was there, and Linwood was there. Jessie was not, though. So I talked to all of them, and Nikki was super, super nice, very, very friendly, a little buzzed, I think. Let's see here, Kelly was very nice. She was super cool. No indication that she would be quitting the band shortly, but very, very nice. We talked about Nashville and older bands from the Nashville, Memphis area and stuff like that, and super cool. And Linwood was pretty nice too. And I went ahead and I got the band's debut album, and I got it signed. It's probably going to be pretty hard to see because it's black on the cover, but I got Kelly and Nikki and Linwood to sign it. Again, no Jessie, but that was okay. I took this CD home and I listened to it, and it was so completely different from Screws Get Loose. I mean, this was traditional country. You're talking about with like banjos and ukuleles and three-part harmony and singing about skillets and, you know, country fried shit and whatever. I didn't even know what was going on, but I loved it. They had so mumuch attitude, and I recognized the song Wild One because it had been in like TV commercials and, or I don't know about commercials, but it'd been in something, in movies or something. I mean, I'd heard it before.
Some of the cupcakes are missing. You just have normal sex?
You know that I have bad circulation, and it got worse after I got laser hair removal.
And I just thought this was great. I mean, these songs are so catchy and so clever, and they sound like they're 50 years old, but they were, most of them were brand new. I don't know. There's not a lot of credits in terms of who wrote what on the first album. Here's the inside there with just the three of them initially. So by this point, I went and saw them another couple of times, and I picked up some other records. Here is the Screws Get Loose 7-inch. There's my girl Jessie on the back. This has a Screws Get Loose extended studio version and a track called Prank Call, which you can't find anywhere else on that. I have, let's see here, this one, which is a split 7-inch. Those Darlins doing Summer's Dead and a band called Heavy Cream on the back. Split 7-inch from them. And then it was time for the new album. And by this point, I had found out that Kelly had quit the band, and that they had got this new guy, Adrian, to play bass. And when I saw them live the next time, I think it was them opening for Old 97s, or maybe it was another time. I saw them 4 times total. But they didn't do the instrument switching as much. It was sort of a fixed thing. It's like, okay, this guy plays bass, Jessie and Nikki play guitar. I still loved it though. They were still great. Costumes were cool. The way they rock out, I mean, their on-stage persona was so excellent. And the stage moves and all that. And they come up with this record called Blur the Line, which was their 3rd album, okay? And a new look, and there's the new guy over here. And Jessie sporting the short hair look there with the tie, going for that early 80s new wave kind of look there. And you know, I bought this record thinking it was a gatefold and you could open it up and then you could see the top of the picture, you know? It's not there. There isn't one. Also with that was this In the Wilderness 7-inch, which is a track from the record.
Been hunting with a big gun. Hey, let's play it fair. Do the talking, but do the walking. Be an animal if you dare.
And the title cut to the album, Blur the Line, on the back of that. There's a couple other singles that the band has done. Also, in between that time, they've done some great covers. They did Pet You and Hold You from, originally done by Rockpile, I want to say. It's Dave Edmunds for sure, Rockpile probably. They did a cover of the song Repo Man by Iggy Pop, which is fucking tremendous. And I was yelling it when I saw them play it live. They ignored me, of course. They didn't play Repo Man, but that's okay. And a bunch of others. There are missing 2 or 3 other singles that I don't have, that I'm going to have to just hope that I run into a record store one day and find it. Blur the Line was a great record, but it was again different from the preceding one, where they had went from traditional country to more of this garage rock feel, to the second album more traditional rock. And what I thought about the new album was that the 2 main writers at this point, the leaders of the band, would be Jesse and Nikki, and I would say that they were going in definite directions, not just stylistically, but in terms of the lyrical content. I was getting a vibe from Jesse's songs that she was a little bit more depressed, and maybe these were sort of like, she's just sad and just trying to get through stuff, but then getting through it and finding out on the other side. But it definitely felt like there was a lot of sadness going on in her songs.
That Mom and Daddy's love was true. It was a picture that he drew.
And maybe I'm misinterpreting it, I don't know. I've been known to get stuff wrong before, whereas Nikki's songs just seem more upbeat, more rockin', you know, more just, again, doing that Rockpile vibe, really. That song, Pet You and Hold You, which she sang, is a good precursor for what her songs on the next album sounded like. They only had one more release after that, and this was Record Store Day from last year. It's a split live album with them and Diarrhea Planet. Okay, those Darlins side. Recorded at Pickathon, so this is great. You know, they're not saying what exactly is going on, why they're going to break up the band, what the deal is. But I gotta think that it can't be like extreme personal dislike. I mean, when a band is going to go out on one final tour, and maybe it's not the longest tour in the world, but it's still one more tour, and they're out there, you know, playing together again for another couple of shows, it's not like, oh, I hate this motherfucker. If I have to sit on the bus with them one more time, I'm gonna, you know, whatever. It is weird because I follow them on all their social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everything. And they were posting pictures on Instagram 5-6 months ago of them in the studio recording a new studio album. Things looked good. They were getting, you know, it looks like, hey, we're making progress on this new album. Now, nobody goes in the studio and posts an update saying, hey, we're working on this new record, it really sucks. This is just not working out, it's terrible. So if it wasn't working out, obviously they wouldn't be telling me that, of course. They wouldn't say that in their videos or whatever, or in their photos on Instagram. But still, I'm curious what happened to those tracks. What's gonna come of that? They did just release one song on SoundCloud, a cover of the song Female Trouble, which is from Divine, the actor, who was in, he was like the drag queen from the movies, the John Waters movies from the 70s. The cover is really good. Again, they do a great cover song. They do great cover songs. I mean, it's fantastic. But I don't know if it's going to be released on like vinyl or CD or what's going to happen. But I really think this band, I'm down about this whole breakup thing. And you know, I hope I commented on a photo on Jesse's Instagram that I really hope whatever she does in the future, whatever project she's working on, if it's music or whatever, she makes it back to Omaha. It's too bad. I feel like people should check out those Darlins. There's a mini documentary that's about 15 minutes long featuring the original band that I'll link to below. And they have a Vivo and an official channel and all that. And you can find tons of footage of them online, performing live, and all of their official videos and stuff like that. I don't know, contact them, implore them not to break up. I've already tried, it's not working. But just another fantastic band. It's really too bad. Those Darlins, rest in peace, ladies. I hope to see you guys in the future in some other endeavors. Take care.
How would you describe those Darlins to someone who's never heard of you before?
Usually just say
We're a rock and roll band.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.